Imagine holding a small coin that looks completely ordinary, yet carries a hidden power strong enough to explode your destiny overnight. These rare U.S. coins hide unimaginable value, millions of dollars waiting in plain sight. One flawless piece can turn you from ordinary to unstoppable, from struggling to millionaire in a heartbeat. If you find one of these coins, never let it go, because it can rewrite your entire fortune instantly. First up, imagine holding a coin so underestimated, so ignored by the world, yet hiding a shocking power that could flip your destiny overnight. The 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar looks like an ordinary small silver-colored coin at first glance, but the moment a collector recognizes its rare perfection, its flawless strike, its untouched shine, the value of this tiny piece of metal explodes into something unbelievable. In the right condition, it becomes one of those legendary modern-era coins that collectors fight over, driving prices into jaw-dropping, million-level territories for museum-grade pieces. People who casually kept this coin in drawers never imagined it could become a ticket to unimaginable wealth, but that is the magic and mystery surrounding the rarest quality of this iconic dollar. The story of the Susan B. Anthony dollar begins with a bold attempt to modernize American currency, but destiny had something very different planned. When the U.S. Mint released the 1979 series, including the Denver-minted 1979 D, nobody predicted the long-term impact. Many rejected the coin back then, confusing it with a quarter, spending it without thought, never believing it would someday be hunted by elite collectors with deep pockets. That ignorance is exactly why high-grade survivors have become so rare. Today, when untouched, mint-state pieces surface, they do not just sell, they shock the market with insane pricing that turns ordinary people into overnight millionaires. The Denver Mint's craftsmanship in 1979 created a unique group of coins with sharper details, cleaner rims, and stronger strikes compared to other mints. And because the public never saved these coins intentionally, the perfect ones became rare by accident, not design. That accidental rarity is what multiplies their worth into extraordinary figures. The few flawless examples, those without scratches, handling marks, or dullness, carry a power collectors understand immediately. This is not just a coin, it is a rarity born from historical misunderstanding. Collectors today search desperately for a 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar in ultra-high grade because they know its insane market behavior. When a coin achieves the highest certification levels, the competition becomes wild. Bidding wars erupt like battles, with each collector trying to outpower the other. Prices skyrocket into ranges that shock ordinary people. A coin that once bought a cup of coffee can suddenly be worth life-changing money because the combination of rarity, condition, and demand creates a perfect storm collectors cannot resist. This coin also symbolizes the first time in American history when a real woman, not a symbolic figure, appeared on U.S. currency. That alone gives the Susan B. Anthony dollar a special historical weight. It represents courage, equality, and a revolution in design. Even people who do not know her legacy feel the strength of this coin when they hold it. And that emotional power adds value. Collectors love coins with stories, and the story of Susan B. Anthony is not just important, it is powerful enough to raise the coin's worth far beyond its face value. The 1979 D is especially loved for having strong strikes that show every detail. The stars, the lettering, the portrait edges, and the dramatic eagle landing on the moon. But the same sharp details also make flaws more visible, meaning only a handful of coins survived without marks. Those flawless ones are like hidden diamonds lost among millions of ordinary stones. And when one of those diamonds appears, the market reacts instantly, rewarding the owner with shocking amounts of wealth. That is why collectors dream of finding this coin in untouched brilliance. Every year that passes makes the 1979 D more valuable because time destroys coins. Scratches, fading, environmental damage, all of it slowly removes candidates from a high-grade category, pushing the few perfect survivors into an even higher price orbit. This natural scarcity effect is what causes million-level valuations for the absolute best specimens. When a coin becomes this rare in perfection, its value no longer depends on metal, but on survival, history, and demand. And the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar has all three. People who discover this coin in mint condition often don't realize what they're holding. One small coin, found in an old box, a drawer, a forgotten wallet, can become a life-changing surprise. That's why the advice is always the same. Never spend it cheaply, never rush to sell it, and never assume it's ordinary. This coin has the hidden power to transform your fortune overnight, and collectors know exactly how to unlock that power. In the world of modern U.S. coins, few pieces carry such explosive value potential. So if you have a 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar in flawless, untouched, shining, mirror-like condition, understand this clearly. You are holding a rare treasure, a sleeper coin capable of reaching astonishing heights in the market. Its worth is not just in dollars, it is in rarity, history, and legendary collector demand. This coin is a reminder that even the smallest piece of metal can hold unimaginable wealth if fate, condition, and rarity align perfectly. And for the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar, that alignment has already happened. Now the question is simple. Do you realize what you truly hold? Imagine a coin that millions of Americans once ignored, tossed into pockets, spent without a second thought, and even laughed at for looking like a quarter. Yet today, in its rarest, untouched, flawless form, it holds the terrifying power to change someone's entire fortune overnight. The 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar is one of those hidden monsters of modern coinage. When this coin appears in the highest mint condition, collectors don't just show interest, they go into full-blown shock. The explosion of its worth in the right grade can reach insane, million-level valuations because perfection from the Philadelphia Mint of that year is so rare that even experts shake their heads in disbelief when they see a true masterpiece. Back in 1979, the U.S. Mint wanted to introduce a bold new era, a smaller dollar coin with a modern female figure representing strength and equality. But destiny had a twist planned. Instead of becoming a hit, the public misunderstood it, confused it with the quarter, and treated it like unwanted pocket change. People spent it roughly, tossed it into drawers, and handled it carelessly. And that careless treatment is exactly why the few surviving perfect condition pieces from the Philadelphia Mint now have such explosive value. The market loves coins with accidental rarity, and the 1979 P became a rarity not because of planned scarcity, but because almost nobody saved it. The Philadelphia Mint produced the largest number of Susan B. Anthony dollars that year, yet the irony is that the more coins that were minted, the fewer perfect specimens survived. The high volume created chaos. Weak strikes, dull details, surface marks, and imperfections were everywhere. Finding one without scratches, spots, or wear is like trying to find a single shining diamond buried under a mountain of ordinary stones. And when that diamond appears, collectors go wild. They know that a flawless 1979 P isn't just rare, it is unbelievably powerful in the market. The true magic of the 1979 P lies in the force of demand that surrounds its highest grades. When a coin reaches breathtaking perfection, crystal-clear surfaces, razor-sharp edges, glowing luster, it steps into a world where ordinary people cannot imagine the value it attracts. The bidding wars that erupt for such a specimen push prices into shocking heights, the kind of heights that can turn a simple coin into a life-changing asset overnight. A coin once worth $1 suddenly becomes a symbol of unimaginable wealth because collectors recognize the difficulty of finding such perfection from the Philadelphia minting process. What makes this coin even more legendary is the historical weight of Susan B. Anthony herself. She wasn't a myth, a goddess, or a symbolic figure. She was a warrior of justice, a real woman who fought for the rights of millions. The moment her portrait was stamped onto American currency, the coin became more than money. It became a piece of history carrying her legacy. Collectors love history with power behind it, and the Susan B. Anthony dollar delivers that power. When combined with extreme rarity in top condition, the coin's value multiplies beyond imagination. For the 1979 P, the biggest enemy has always been time. Every year, more coins get damaged, more surfaces lose their shine, more details fade away. And as the number of perfect survivors shrinks, the value of the remaining flawless coins shoots upward like a rocket. That natural destruction creates a scarcity that cannot be reversed. And this scarcity is exactly why collectors are willing to pay million-level prices for the best examples. They are paying for survival, for rarity, for history, and for the near-impossible perfection of a coin that was never appreciated when it first entered the world. If someone today finds a 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar in untouched, mirror-like condition, the shock they feel is nothing compared to the shock the coin market feels. This coin, when preserved perfectly, becomes a financial nuclear bomb, small, silent, but capable of exploding in value so violently that it can change a person's life in a single sale. The reality is simple. Most people handled this coin roughly. That's why the tiny number of surviving masterpiece specimens are treated like treasure capable of rewriting fortunes. This is not a coin you sell in a hurry. Not a coin you trade for pennies. Not a coin you hand over without understanding its potential. It carries a hidden fire inside it, a rare intensity that makes collectors chase it with unstoppable energy. Even a slightly better than average example can surprise you, but the real wealth lies in the highest condition, those museum-level coins that look like they were frozen in time the moment they were created. Those are the coins that can make you question reality when you hear their value. So if you have a 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar in flawless brilliance, understand the truth clearly. You might be holding a silent fortune, a forgotten treasure capable of rising to unbelievable worth in today's market. This coin was ignored by the world, but now the world is chasing it. Its value isn't just in metal, it's in history, rarity, survival, perfection, and the intense collector demand that keeps rising. And that is why this small coin has the power to change your destiny overnight, if you recognize what you truly hold before someone else does. Imagine holding a coin that looks completely ordinary on the surface, yet underneath that simple shine hides a secret capable of shaking your entire reality. The 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar has multiple varieties, and one of those rare varieties, another version of the 1979 P, carries an unbelievable hidden value that only serious collectors understand. This coin, when found in perfect, untouched, shining condition, explodes in the market like a financial earthquake. Its worth breaks expectations, reaching insane million-level value ranges because collectors know how impossibly rare it is to find this specific variety without flaws. The power locked inside this one small piece of metal can genuinely redirect someone's fortune overnight. Back in 1979, the U.S. Mint was under intense pressure to create a modern dollar coin that would fit the country's new direction. During this rush, multiple hub designs, different punches, and slightly altered engravings were used. That is where the second version of the 1979 P coin was born. It wasn't planned to be special, it wasn't designed to become rare, but because of the changing minting process and the experimental dyes, this particular variety became unintentionally unique. Most people who held it had no idea they were carrying a future treasure. They spent it carelessly, confused it with quarters, and treated it like a useless coin, completely unaware of the unimaginable wealth hiding in plain sight. The real shock about this, another 1979 P coin, comes from its unpredictable survival. Unlike regular versions, this variety went through more handling stress, more storage wear, and more surface damage right at the minting stage. That means flawless survivors are nearly impossible to find. For collectors, this is like discovering a ghost in daylight, something you know could exist, but almost never see. The market reacts violently when one appears. The bidding energy rises like a storm, collectors push their limits, and the coin's price climbs into jaw-dropping heights because everyone knows they may never see one again in such condition. One of the reasons this variant has such shocking value is the detail work on the portrait of Susan B. Anthony. She appears sharper, bolder, more defined in some dies used early in production. The edges and letters carry a different punch quality, and the eagle landing on the moon has deeper texture. These small, almost invisible differences create a separate identity that experienced collectors can spot instantly. And rarity mixed with a distinct identity always produces extreme worth. A coin like this isn't just a piece of metal. It's a fingerprint of a moment in history where the mint was transitioning, experimenting, and unexpectedly creating treasures. The Philadelphia Mint in 1979 was producing millions of coins at lightning speed, and that rush caused chaotic inconsistency. Some dies wore out too fast. Some dies were replaced mid-production. Some coins were struck harder, some weaker, some cleaner, some with soft details. The another 1979 P falls into this whirlwind of unpredictable minting. And because of that instability, the perfect condition survivors of this variety are so limited that even experts cannot predict when the next one will surface. This unpredictability adds an exciting danger to the coin's value. Collectors fear missing it, so they offer huge amounts instantly. Time has only magnified the rarity of this special 1979 P variety. Most examples have been used, scratched, stained, pocket-worn, machine-damaged, or simply destroyed. Every passing year removes more candidates from the high-grade category, causing the few remaining flawless survivors to climb higher and higher in value. This is why million-level price tags are not just fantasy. They are the natural result of unstoppable scarcity colliding with unstoppable collector demand. The market knows the supply is shrinking, so the competition becomes fierce, emotional, and explosive when the best examples come up for sale. The emotionally charged history of Susan B. Anthony herself adds an extra layer of value. She represents fearlessness, rebellion, and justice, qualities that make collectors feel deeply connected to this coin. When a rare variety carries not only rarity but also a strong story, its value skyrockets beyond ordinary logic. Holding this coin feels like holding a piece of American courage. And when that courage is stamped onto a coin with a nearly impossible survival rate, the result is a treasure capable of changing someone's financial destiny overnight. People who accidentally find this rare variant often don't realize what they have. They think it's just another Susan B. Anthony dollar. But the truth is far more shocking. This coin is a silent fortune, a sleeping dragon waiting for the right moment to awaken. If the surface reflects cleanly, if the fields sparkle with original mint luster, if the details remain sharp and untouched, then the coin transforms from a casual discovery into a life-changing asset. It becomes the kind of find that collectors describe as once in a generation, and its value reacts accordingly. So if you ever come across another 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar in pristine, mirror-like brilliance, never underestimate it. Never spend it quickly. Never assume it's ordinary. You may be holding a rare variety capable of commanding millions in today's intense collector market. This coin has the ability to rewrite your destiny because it carries rarity, history, emotion, and explosive demand all at once. A simple mistake at the mint created a masterpiece, and now the world is chasing it. The only question is whether you can recognize the fortune in your hand before someone else tries to take it from you. Next up. Imagine holding a coin so small, so ordinary-looking, yet hiding a financial storm capable of rewriting your entire destiny in a single night. The 1980 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar, especially the rare surviving flawless specimens, carries a shocking, almost unreal value in today's market. Most people have no idea that this Denver-minted coin can explode into million-level worth when it appears in untouched, perfect, high-grade brilliance. This isn't just a coin. It's a silent treasure that can transform an ordinary collector into an overnight billionaire if lightning strikes in the right moment. Back in 1980, the U.S. Mint was still pushing the Susan B. Anthony dollar into circulation even though the public disliked it. People confused it with quarters, spent it without care, and tossed it into pocket change. That careless treatment is exactly what created the accidental rarity behind the best-conditioned 1980 D coins. Almost nobody saved them intentionally, so the few that survived in flawless condition became unbelievable rarities. Collectors now hunt these coins with obsession because they know perfect survivors exist in extremely small numbers, making them a high-value phenomenon in the world of modern U.S. coins. The Denver Mint in 1980 had a reputation for producing sharper, stronger-struck coins, but that same strength also made surface flaws more visible. Any scratch, nick, hit, or slide ruined the perfection instantly. The result is simple. Finding a flawless 1980 D is like finding a star in the middle of the ocean. And when one of those stars appears, bright, untouched, mirror-like, the market reacts with unbelievable force. Bidding battles erupt, collectors pour money like water, and the price rockets into shocking ranges because they know how insanely difficult it is to find such perfection. What makes the 1980 D even more valuable is its position in the Susan B. Anthony dollar timeline. By 1980, production was slowing down, public rejection was growing, and fewer coins were being saved. This created a second layer of rarity. Fewer were set aside, fewer survived untouched, and fewer reached the high grades collectors crave. This accidental scarcity formed the backbone of the coin's modern value. Collectors love coins created by unexpected circumstances, and the 1980 D is one of the strongest examples of that surprise rarity. The portrait of Susan B. Anthony on this coin carries a deep emotional meaning. She was a warrior for justice, a fighter for equality, a voice of the unheard. Her strength is captured in the sharp lines of the design, giving the coin an aura of power and determination. Collectors are attracted to stories, and this coin carries one of the strongest stories in American currency. The combination of history, symbolism, and low survival rates creates a thunderstorm of demand, turning the 1980 D into a high-value collectible that shocks even experienced coin experts. Every high-grade 1980 D Susan B. Anthony dollar is a survivor against impossible odds. Most coins from this year have dull luster, circulation marks, soft details, or surface spotting. Time has only made the situation worse. Storage damage, moisture, friction, and careless handling wiped out a huge portion of these coins long before collectors recognized their worth. This shrinking supply is what pushes values into jaw-dropping territory. The rarer the survivors, the more aggressively collectors fight to obtain them, and that competition is what creates the million-level potential. People who discover a perfect 1980 often underestimate what they're holding. They think it's ordinary because it doesn't look flashy, but the truth is the opposite. This coin hides its power quietly. The smoother the surface, the cleaner the details, the brighter the shine, the higher the value climbs. Collectors know that a flawless example can be life-changing. It's a coin that proves ordinary pocket change can secretly carry extraordinary wealth, and that's exactly why serious collectors chase it with burning intensity. This is not a coin to sell cheaply or casually. This is not a coin you hand over without understanding the storm of value locked inside. The 1980 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar in million-grade condition is a wealth generator, a silent powerhouse waiting for the right buyer to unlock its full potential. Even small differences in condition can change the price dramatically. But the top-tier survivors, the ones that look untouched by time, become legendary pieces that can shake the market the moment they appear. So if you ever come across another 1980 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar that shines with flawless brilliance, treat it like the treasure it truly is. You may be holding a coin with the power to transform your future, rewrite your fortune, and elevate you from ordinary to extraordinary overnight. This coin carries history, rarity, perfection, and explosive demand, all the ingredients needed for a million-value masterpiece. And in today's market, where collectors fight fiercely for the rarest survivors, this coin stands as a silent reminder that unimaginable wealth can hide in the smallest, simplest places. Next up, imagine holding a small silver-colored coin in your hand, something so ordinary that most people wouldn't even look at it twice, and yet that same coin holds a hidden power capable of shaking your entire existence. The 1970 Washington quarter has varieties so rare, so unbelievably unique, that their value erupts into the million-dollar level when discovered in flawless condition. This coin is the kind of treasure that hides in complete silence, waiting for the right pair of eyes to recognize its unbelievable wealth. If you find one of these rare 1970 varieties in perfect, untouched brilliance, you aren't just holding a coin, you're holding a doorway into unimaginable fortune. The year 1970 was a strange moment in U.S. coinage. The world was shifting, silver was gone, copper-nickel was the new standard, and the Washington quarter design was evolving. During this transition, unusual dies, experimental strikes, and unexpected minting errors appeared, creating rare varieties that collectors today chase like gold hunters in a storm. The public had no idea. People spent these quarters without care, tossed them into jars, used them for parking meters, and slid them across countertops. That casual treatment is exactly what turned the best surviving 1970 varieties into million-level rarities today. The rarest version of the 1970 Washington quarter isn't the one people expect. It isn't the regular strike, it's another version with tiny differences in minting that only experts can spot: unusual edge flow, sharper bust details, or a different spacing on the lettering. These micro differences turn an ordinary 1970 quarter into a hidden giant. The Denver Mint and the San Francisco Mint both saw strange die behaviors that year, and one of those varieties became so rare that collectors now treat it like a myth. When one appears in flawless condition, the value doesn't rise, it exploded. Most people assume a coin becomes valuable because of age, but the truth is different. The real value comes from survival, pure, untouched, perfect survival. The 1970 quarters lived hard lives. Rough circulation, careless storage, pocket friction, metal contact, and decades of damage destroyed most of them long before collectors realized their worth. That is why perfect survivors of certain 1970 varieties are nearly impossible to find. And impossibility is exactly what collectors pay for. When something becomes nearly impossible, its value reaches the kind of heights that look unreal to ordinary people. One of the most dramatic qualities of the rare 1970 Washington quarter is its striking detail. The portrait of George Washington appears sharper, the eagle carries deeper texture, and the luster shines in a way that looks almost frozen in time. These coins weren't meant to be special, but the minting accidents of that year gave them a personality that no other quarter has. Collectors search obsessively for that personality, And when they find it in a high-grade example, they treat it like a treasure capable of rewriting fortunes. And then comes the condition, the true monster behind the coin's value. A flawless 1970 Washington quarter looks like it was made yesterday. Smooth fields, glass-like shine, razor-sharp details, untouched surfaces. But those perfect survivors are so rare that even major collectors call them ghost coins. The moment one appears, the market goes into panic mode. Bidding becomes fierce, prices skyrocket without warning, and the coin turns into a financial weapon capable of generating million-level returns instantly. Perfection is the fuel that makes this coin explosive. People who accidentally discover one of these rare 1970 quarters often have no idea what they're holding. It sits in their hand like a normal quarter, light, simple, harmless. But inside that small metal disc is the power of destiny. The power to shift someone's life from struggle to success instantly. The power to turn a simple pocket discovery into a life-changing miracle. These are the kinds of coins that coin dealers whisper about, collectors dream about, and investors fight over. It is a hidden beast disguised as a simple piece of everyday change. You should never spend a 1970 quarter without looking carefully. Never trade it without understanding what might be inside it. This coin can hide rare varieties with minting traits that push their value into the millions. And the shocking truth is this: many people have thrown away fortunes without knowing. Many have spent $1 million quarter on a cup of tea, a bus ticket, or a small grocery item. That is the danger of not recognizing the power of this coin. Its value hides behind its simplicity. So if you ever hold another rare 1970 Washington quarter, one with extraordinary shine, perfect surfaces, unusual details, or anything that looks different from the rest, understand that you may be holding a fortune. A treasure. A miracle. A coin with the strength to change your life in a single night. The collector market today is hungry, aggressive, and willing to spend insane amounts of money for the best survivors. This coin has the power to lift you from ordinary to extraordinary, from dreamer to millionaire, from hope to reality. And all it takes is recognizing the treasure in your hand before someone else takes it.